Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for a very exciting video. 6 things that we learned from Sevilla 0, Chelsea 4 in the Uefa Champions League. It is an emphatic victory for the Blues. We win the group, which means at Stamford Bridge against Krasnodar, we could field 11-year-olds if we wanted to, and it wouldn't have any effect on what happens to Chelsea in the last 16 draw. I said it in my preview, this game for me was all about winning the group. Frank Lampard made 9 changes to the team that won the game at the weekend, and boy oh boy, it didn't make any difference whatsoever. Chelsea were brilliant tonight, we got a professional job done, and it is the biggest win that we've managed so far in the group. Before we get into the 6 things that we learned from this game, I would love to ask for you guys to subscribe to GBFC, and well, it was such a great win. If you don't hit the like button for this one, then you're never going to hit it for any video that I ever make in the future. So leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and without any further ado, there's only really one place that we can start for the analysis of this video, and it is the bluest of blue boxes for Chelsea's evergreen talisman striker, the elite, world-class Olivier Giroud. The man has turned up with 4 bloody goals. First one was brilliant, and I immediately wrote in my notes, whenever there's a game on, I have my phone open, I'm writing the notes for 6 things that we learn, and I immediately put Olivier Giroud in the green. It was a beautiful finish after a very nice direct pass into feet from Kai Havertz. Olivier Giroud, as he always does so well, people criticise, and during the BT Sport commentary at half-time and analysis, people were saying how Olivier Giroud is more than just a target man, you know? People think, and whenever I analyse Giroud, I always say that he's a great player to have, to put the ball in, to offload it to other teammates around him as well. And that is a great part of Olivier Giroud's game, but the finishing, it's absolutely sublime. All 3 goals before the penalty to make it 4 were exceptional. The second one is, it's a bit of a naive piece of goalkeeping. He kind of goes down, and I think maybe because the keeper was so young, he's used to players at youth level just not having that kind of composure. But I'm taking nothing away from Olivier Giroud. Chelsea Football Club, whatever you do, just give him a 5-year deal. Just break this mold of 1-year contracts for 30+ players. Olivier Giroud is so flipping good. He's gone to a very tricky place tonight. I think only Man City have won in Seville for, the last however long. And Olivier Giroud's come in today. He's got 4 goals. And at the end of the game, you just see him stroking his chin on the touchline. The man is just a maestro. He's a magician. He's wonderful. And he scores all 4 tonight for Chelsea. And there was absolutely no doubt that it was a man of the match performance. Now, if we use this to look forward into what this means moving forward, Olivier Giroud, you can't score 4 in midweek and then not feature again at the weekend. I think Olivier Giroud has to start now, whether it's Timo as the striker and we use 2 wingers again, probably reverting back to a 4-3-3 to play against Leeds. But Olivier Giroud has done, for me, more than enough he has to start. There's no way you can drop this guy after what he's just done. Chelsea win 4-0, Olivier Giroud scores all of the goals, and he's now scored all of our last 5 in the Champions League. The winner a week ago in Rennes, 4 in Seville. It's a brilliant result, an absolutely brilliant result. And we move into box number 2, and it is the man that's back in the starting 11. He had COVID, and then, we were getting excited seeing Havertz on the pitch, and then he gets COVID, and we're like, bugger, this guy is out again. Kai Havertz was sublime tonight. I thought the way that whenever he got the ball, his thought is not only just to run forwards, he's not just a guy that runs and drives, which was the key element and component of his game today. But the thing I really loved about watching Kai Havertz was how smart and intelligent he is on the ball. Sometimes when he's in tight situations, he knows that it's better to pass it backwards, which some people don't like it when midfielders pass it backwards, particularly when you're an attacking midfielder such as Kai Havertz. But I thought he was very smart today. I thought he looks very sharp again. He was making some really good runs, and the passing, particularly in the final third, was getting Chelsea into great positions. There was a ball that was, I think it was the attack just before Olivier Giroud's second goal. He plays a lovely through ball towards Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I thought had a good game tonight. I don't think it was great. I don't think it was, I've got to start against Leeds from Callum, but we'll talk about that before the Leeds game later on this week. Kai Havertz I thought was brilliant. He didn't get on the score sheet, but he was doing more than enough in the middle of the park to suggest he's a massive part of this Chelsea team. Good in attack, strong and solid in defence as well. It was a brilliant game from our German number 29. And box number 3, I'm giving it to, once again, Mateo Kovacic, who showed that even when Chelsea changed their formation and he's not playing as one of the 2 number 8s, Mateo Kovacic is such a sublime member of this Chelsea squad. When I saw that he was one of the only other players starting who did start that game at the weekend, it made me realise that Frank Lampard strongly values what Mateo Kovacic brings to this team. Whether it's a 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1 that we lined up with this evening, Frank Lampard knows that a player of Kovacic's versatility, who over the past year or so has developed massively in his movement going forward as well, incisive passes again in the final third, he looks solid against the depleted Sevilla side. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're definitely going to win the Champions League now because we won 4-0 against a very accomplished European side such as Sevilla. They were depleted, they had a lot of players out, and, well, you know, we made 9 changes as well. So when it comes to, like, navigating the importance of how big this win is, I don't want to let Sevilla's depleted team take anything away from this Chelsea side. But focusing again on Mateo Kovacic, he's a key component of this midfield. And, you know, like, he couldn't really have done much more. I think in the first half, we kind of struggled to impose ourselves in an attacking sense in the game. And I feel as though Kovacic was sitting a bit too deep. And I think he's that player that when Sevilla are putting the pressure on, Kovacic needs to step up in order to allow Chelsea to transition into more attacking areas on the pitch. In the second half, he did that superbly. Chelsea's superiority reigned supreme, and Kovacic had another very solid game. He's in some very good form right now. Player of the year last season, and because we've got so many players performing right now, I don't think he's going to get Player of the Year again based off of what he's currently doing because someone else is taking the mantle right now of standing out. But it was very good again from Chelsea's Croatian midfielder. Now I move into box number 4, and again I bring it back to what I said about Sevilla being a depleted side. Chelsea came with a job to do, which was to try and win the game in order to win this Champions League group. Not only did we come to Seville and dominate for the majority, if not all of the game, Sevilla were pretty good in the second half of the first half, but the professionalism of the job that Chelsea did tonight is an absolute credit to all of the work that Frank Lampard has been doing on the training ground. We can see lovely little interchanges right now between some of these players, whether they've been at the club for a while or whether they're new signings. Everyone seems very connected at Chelsea Football Club, and when we're going out on the pitch, even against Spurs, I feel like we're executing the game plans that we're setting out to do in every game that we're playing at the moment. I think tonight, we knew that we've made a lot of changes. A lot of these players, Rudiger, Christensen, Emerson, Jorginho even in recent weeks, they've not played that many minutes of football in a Chelsea shirt. Everybody came and knew the job they needed to do. I've not given any greens to any of the defenders tonight, but I thought we defended pretty well. And the majority of the play was focused on Chelsea going away and scoring 4 goals. So I wanted to keep a focus primarily on the attack because it was a big win and we focused heavily on the defence in what was a good defensive display again at the weekend against Spurs. It's now 15 games unbeaten in all competitions. We move forward, and as I've said, that game against Krasnodar now is a massive free hit. We get a chance to play some players again who might not necessarily be getting minutes. And the good thing with that is it keeps everyone in the squad, even if they're not necessarily fully happy that they're not starting every game or they're not involved in the big games. When we have this luxury of incredible squad depth, which is box number 5 today, you get the chance to give players other minutes when Chelsea are getting the job done early. It kind of connects box 4 and 5. The professionalism today shows how we killed the game off very early in the second half. As for box number 5, in terms of the squad depth, Frank Lampard can go away against Sevilla, who are a very accomplished European side in Spain, and we can field 9 changes to the starting 11 and we could go away and do that. It is absolutely phenomenal. What a time to be a Chelsea fan. So much quality all over the pitch, and I think the great thing, not only about the immediate quality that the new signings bring into the starting 11 or bring into Chelsea when they're playing, everybody, or at least from what we understand right now, because there's not been any leaked stories in the media, there's not really anyone apart from maybe Giroud, who, well, he's got a chance tonight and he's taken it fully. There's not really any unrest right now within this Chelsea team, so the players that come out when they're given these starts, randomly it seems, for a couple of them, they know that they've still got a big part to play, whether it's as a squad player, a regular starter, or someone who is on the verge of breaking into this team, such as Olivier Giroud. Everyone gives everything, and Frank Lampard, I would not want to be him come this game against Leeds at the weekend, just for, well, I'd love to be Frank Lampard for a day. Let's not get carried away here, but the fact that now there is so many players playing well, people come in, make a real statement. I thought Jorginho was pretty good tonight as well, got the job done. Nothing exceptional, but across the pitch, I think Chelsea did a professional, exceptional job. And box number 6, we're going to finish on a yellow. And even though Chelsea were winning the game from the 8th minute, a lot of people still like to focus on the negatives that needed to be discussed, and that I will discuss right now because it's my job, it's what I do, I make these review videos. Yellow box for Christian Pulisic. I think there were times in the first half where the reason it's a yellow and not a red is because I think he was trying to do all the right things, but he's just not looking as sharp as he was last season. And whenever I say within these 6 things we learn, I like to compare the players and rate the players and review the players based off of the ceiling that we know that they have and based off of the great performances that we know are possible from the individuals. Christian Pulisic looks a little bit off the pace tonight, and I think it would be a smart move potentially. I want to know what you guys say about this in the comments. Put Timo on the wing again at the weekend with Olivier Giroud up top. I think the thing with Pulisic is we know how good he is. We know how great his future is going to be at Chelsea. I do believe he's already a world-class player, but at the same time, I do think that he did look a little bit off the pace tonight. I don't want to go into all of the rave, gruesome details that I've seen some go into on social media, which I think is a little bit outlandish and overreacting again. And I do want to remind you guys that Chelsea are winning consistently right now. We are 2 points off the top in the Premier League. We've won the Champions League group with a game to spare at Stamford Bridge. We can spend our time talking about the great things right now instead of slating players for having bad individual games. We've gone over the Tammy Abraham situation from the weekend. I don't want people to look too far into this from Pulisic. He's still coming back to match fitness after yet another injury, and he was trying to do the right things tonight. It didn't quite work out for him, but I don't think it's as bad as some may suggest. But anyway, that is going to wrap up 6 things we learned from Sevilla 0, Chelsea 4. It is a phenomenal victory in the south of Spain. Chelsea go into a massive Premier League tie against old rivals Leeds. Marcelo Bielsa. It's going to be an interesting one. We're going to be doing a load of videos in the build-up to this one. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't already done so. What a result. Olivier Giroud, mate. Please stay. Love you guys. Come on, you Blues.